So finally, a stretching video for Judo and BJJ. So before I show you guys my favorite stretches and stretches that I believe to be critical or the most important to stretch out your body for Judo and BJJ, what's up guys, Nguyen, OG Fitness. Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new, this channel is all about fitness for Judo and martial arts for older guys. Now, if you're young, it's not your fault and you won't be for long, brother. So let's dive right into the video. This video, a long time coming, stretching, how to stretch for Judo and BJJ. So let's read the comment that sparked this video. Great video. Will you please release a stretching video for Judo and BJJ? So finally, a stretching video for Judo and BJJ. So before I show you guys my favorite stretches and stretches that I believe to be critical or the most important to stretch out your body for Judo and BJJ, I have to explain to you guys a few very important concepts that you need to understand. Now, recently, I've worked with a pro contortionist on my flexibility. So I did a couple of intensive classes, and this is right here the most important takeaways. Number one thing, guys, you have to be properly warmed up. So when I say properly, I mean you have to break a sweat. The other thing that you have to do is that you have to hold each stretch for at least 2 minutes, guys. Now, if you hold anything less than that, then it's not really going to stretch the muscle all that much. You see people talk about 30 seconds, and then 1 minute. Now, 30 seconds to 1 minute, I think it's therapeutic. It'll make you feel better, right? It'll loosen up the muscle, but it's not actually going to get you into a new range of motion. It's not going to stretch the muscle in a permanent way. So you actually have to hold it for at least 2 minutes. Now, 15 minutes would be the max because beyond that, who knows? You might be going a little bit too hard for too long, and then you might actually tear something. So 2 minutes is the minimum. I like to hold the stretch for probably a little bit longer than that. I never really time myself, but I know I'm anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes. Now, when you stretch, are you supposed to feel pain? A lot of people will tell you, no, you don't. You shouldn't be feeling pain. You should be just slightly uncomfortable. And I used to think the same. But turns out, guys, no, like it has to hurt. You have to feel pain. Now, how much pain? Well, you have to go to your limit and then just a little bit over that. So you're at the door, at the edge of pain, and then you hang out there. Now, how do you hang out there without, while being in pain like that? Well, there's a few things that you could do. You could twitch, right? Your muscles, you can move around. You could move your toes, your arms, whatever it is that you're stretching so that it kind of distracts you from the pain. So find a way to distract yourself from the pain. You could listen to music. And another thing that you could do is that you could actually breathe. Now, breathing is actually really important. Now, what do I mean by breathing? I mean by breathing into the muscle. So imagine when you take a inhalation, right, that it's going straight to the muscle. And then as you exhale, then you can sink in deeper into the stretch. Now, another thing that you can do as well is that you can contract the muscle and relax the muscle. This is going to help you get a better stretch, and at the same time, going to distract you from, well, the pain. If you want to be more flexible, it's going to hurt. It's not going to hurt to the point where you pass out, but it's going to suck. So you have to get to your limit and then add a little bit more and stay there. Hang out there at the door, at the edge of pain. You could also bounce a little bit, right? So move around in the stretch, but don't go bouncing violently because then you might actually pull a muscle and that's gonna be pretty tough. Well, it's gonna be pretty long to come back from. Another important thing, guys, is to not do this before you actually go practice your sport. So before you get into judo, don't do this. Do this after. Or if you're going weightlifting, don't do static stretching before you weightlift, because you're just gonna, well, basically you're loosening up the muscle. The joints aren't going to be as solid, and of course you just skyrocketed your risk of injury. So don't do that. I recommend one session of 60 minutes per week, and on a daily basis, especially after your workout. I want you to spend at least 10 minutes stretching the areas that are super tight on your body. And that's how you have to go about it. Now, on those one sessions a week, that's where you're really going to work on your flexibility. And on the daily, that's just for, I would say, maintenance and very small steps towards becoming more flexible. Guys, you need to stretch to be more flexible. And the reason why you want to do that is it's going to prevent injury, because you're going to have your full range of motion, okay? And you're also going to be able to access more power. Just because you have more range, then you're able to, well, create more momentum because you have that range. And also there's a certain confidence that comes knowing that your joints aren't going to snap when they're in these funny positions. Now, flexibility without strength, that's garbage, but you still need a good amount of flexibility. You need to be flexible to get into range, and after that, you need to be mobile in those ranges. So you have to be able to control it. So you need strength. So yes, stretching alone is, well, useless, but it's useless for combat athletes, for sports, for power sports. But you need to be flexible so that you have range of motion. And then once you have that range, then you can work on strengthening the muscles throughout that range. All right, so here are my go-to stretches for judo. Okay, you got the frog stretch. I like to do this stretch right before I do the side splits. So once you finish your frog stretch, this stretches essentially your grind muscles and your, what do you call it, your adductors. Then from there, you go into the side splits. And then, of course, you can go into your front splits. Now, the other stretch I like to do is the couch stretch. So this is, from this stretch, you could actually do two other stretches. So it's like a 3-in-1. It's sort of a combo stretch. So here, the first thing you do is, well, you're stretching your quads, essentially, and also your hip flexors. And then after that, what you do is you can lean over, put your two hands on the ground, and now you're stretching your hip flexors. Actually, that first one there, that was more for your quads. You're going to feel that a lot more in your quads. And then the second one here, where you're putting your hands on the ground and stretching that that leg that's basically in the back there, that's going to hit your hip flexor a lot more. And then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to, the leg that's in front, when you straighten that out, well, that's going to make it so that you're stretching your hammies, your hamstrings. Okay, now the next one, pigeon stretch. So you can do this on the ground like so, or even better, also this is something that you might have to progress to, right? Maybe at the beginning you won't be able to do this, but you want to do this on a elevated surface so you can go deeper into the stretch. So a lot of stretching is like this, guys. At the beginning, you start off on the ground, you work yourself to a certain level, and then after that, you're going to need to go deeper into the stretch. And usually that's going to require some kind of elevated surface where you could, put yourself, you could post your arm, your leg, whatever it is that you're stretching onto a elevated surface and, dive deeper into stretch. And then after that, there's at the higher levels of stretching, well, you use weights to basically pull yourself. Weighted stretching, pull yourself deeper into the stretch. Okay, so the next one, elbow supported thoracic extension. Here you go on your knees, okay, you put your elbows on a platform there, and then there you go. You make sure that your head actually goes, well, towards the ground, and it's not just in between your arms, but lower than your arms, okay, and you hang out there. Now, the other thing I like to do is also sit on my butt, okay, have my two arms in the back. Now my hands are facing the other way. So my fingers are pointed in the opposite direction of my feet, basically. And then from here, well, you scoot out your butt and you're gonna feel it in your, well, shoulders. This is for shoulder extension, and a lot of us, like myself included, we struggle here. So you need to do a ton of this stuff. And now here's the thing, you can do this on the ground. Your arms have to be locked out straight, okay? Or you could be, just grab yourself a bar or anything that's behind you, okay, where you can hold it in a essentially pronated hand position, and then you just, you know, scoot out your hips. Okay, the other thing that I like to do is basically lie on my back, and basically, I don't even know how you call this, but basically it looks like you're in some kind of L shape. So you have one leg straight, the other one making an L or at a 90-degree angle, and you twist that to one side, and then you try to keep your shoulders here on the ground. Okay, this is an amazing stretch for your lower back. And then after that, the next one, you go on your stomach, and now we're stretching out your pecs. We're stretching out your pecs, and of course, we're stretching out like part of your shoulder as well. And the next one, right? So this is a basically seated spine twist. I don't know what you call this. If you guys know, put it down in the comments, you know, but I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. I'm sure you guys have done this before or have seen this, but basically, yes, you sit down, right? You could have one leg straight, put the other one across, boom, and twist like this. Put your hands, well, you know what I mean. And now, last but not least, this is not, by the way, guys, an exhaustive list. There's a lot of other stretches, but these are my main ones that I work on quite a bit. And of course, you got to stretch. The more stretches you learn, find the ones that you like best, that work best for you, and do them. But these are the ones that I use quite a bit, and they help me quite a lot. Now, the next one here, it's called the, hell, I don't know what it's called, but in French, it's a sauterelle. So it's that little grasshopper. Yes, grasshopper. I think that's what it is. Anyways, lie on your stomach. You guys might have seen this in yoga. For those of you guys who don't know, I practice yoga as well, hatha yoga actually. And yes, this is one of the stretches that I like the most. Now here, you're going into basically spine extension, okay? And at the same time, guys, you're actually stretching out your shoulders as well. So this is pretty cool. You know, instead of doing that straight arm shoulder extension on the floor or using some kind of bar behind you, well, you could do this right here. And the thing is, you could pop this up, right? You could put a lot of, by putting a lot of tension in your legs, pushing your legs against your arms, now your hands, sorry, and your hands, you're holding onto your ankles. You're gonna see that you curve up, and then you can make yourself into like a circle, and that's going to make it so that, yeah, you're and of course you're going to have to contract the musculature in your back as well. So you're stretching out the front of your body, your shoulders, right, in extension, and at the same time your quads and your hip flexors, and of course you're working, well, your back, the complete chain, well, at least from your lumbar spine to your cervical spine, right, all the way through. And this is a great stretch right here. So it's one of these stretches where it's active. It's an active stretch, and you can make any stretch active by contracting your muscles, guys. So that's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, let me know, and let me know what stretches work for you for judo and BJJ. Share with the guys in the community. And guys, if you have any questions or you want to talk to me directly, actually, let's start by that. If you have any questions, DM me on Instagram. That's where I'll be able to answer your questions directly and keep track of our conversations. Whereas here in the comment sections, it's great. I check in as often as possible, but it's a little bit tough to track the conversation down again once, you know, I want to get back to it. And then if you guys want to talk to me directly, there's a link in my description, right? It's free. We can hang out. We could talk for 45 minutes, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to know for your situation and what you need to do. And after that, of course, if you're interested, we could work together. I could coach you, and yes, that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And please, if you like this video, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. And let me know for the next video what you guys would like me to address and talk about. And that's it. Peace.